Finally, you guys have absolutely no idea just how long I've waited and how much I've been wanting to cover this show. Darling in the FRANXX is a series that at the start of the winter season had me intrigued for two reasons. For one, the very thought of Studio Trigger and A1 Pictures coming together on a single project sounded really promising because they have made a lot of my favorite shows. And two, mechas. However, the experience I got from watching it was so much more than I could have ever hoped for, with a story that is so beautiful and so profoundly deep in meaning that it literally brought me to tears. And so today, I am pleased to present you with my review on Darling in the FRANXX. First off, before I even start breaking into anything, I need to make something clear that this review is not based off comparing the anime to the manga, because the anime came out far before the manga was even released. Normally the way things go is, an anime is based off of a light novel or manga as its source material. However, there are a few exceptions where it's done the other way around, and Darling is one of those. I want you to imagine growing up being told that you have but one sole purpose in life, and that if you're not fit for that purpose, that you have no value. How would you cope with that? Would you be able to accept those words, or would you challenge them and search for something more meaningful to your life? I'm pretty sure most of us, given the amount of knowledge that we know about ourselves, as well as life in general, would definitely look for something more. However, if you didn't have that knowledge, you wouldn't know that there is much more out there for you. You wouldn't know that there is much more to living. And that is the story that we have with our characters, as they are told at a very young age that they are to battle in specially designed mechs known as FRANXX, and slowly start to discover things about themselves and their situation that make them question their purpose and strive to find freedom and true happiness. One of the main things that I loved about Darling was how in the first half it took the time to go in depth with all the members of the team by giving them their own designated episode for growth and development, allowing us as the viewer to not only get more attached and familiar with Hiro and 02 as our two main characters, but also allowing us to form connections with the supporting cast as well. Which is why we got so heated whenever conflicts arose between them, and why we cheered so much once they were resolved. The best instance of this is the conflict that arose between Hiro, 02, and Ichigo. The fan base was furious over that conflict. Some of them even went as far as threatening the writer in Ichigo's VA, which is, even without saying, way over the top and uncalled for. However, once they saw the satisfying conclusion that followed it, they were extremely delighted. This just goes to prove how much work went into developing the characters in the series. And if you don't believe me, I want you to ask yourself this question real quick. Would you have gotten so emotional and heated if the characters didn't form a connection with you? I don't think so. I also must say that Darling in the FRANXX has one of the most adorable and touching childhood romances I've seen since Sakura Kinomoto and Lee Shaoran of Cardcaptor Sakura.
ここを出たらね。僕も君とずっと一緒にいたいもん。そしたら僕は君のだ。
For me, part 2 of Darling in the FRANXX was very dramatic and beautiful. Not only did it do a magnificent job dealing with the uncertainties of Squad 13 as they tried to live on after the battle, but it also had some very poetically romantic and heartwarming moments in it. This being said though, I can still understand why some didn't like the ending. After all, the whole 02 turning into True Apis in space bit was a complete 180 from what most of us were anticipating. However, I didn't really pay it much mind, I was more engrossed in the situations that were happening back on Earth with the rest of the squad, like Kokoro and Mitsuru's struggle to recall their feelings and memories of each other. Not being able to remember that you had feelings for someone, or even address that person by name, is a huge pain to bear, and it really hit me hard. So when the final episode came around, I was extremely delighted to see that Kokoro and Mitsuru were finally reunited. Not only that, but seeing the rest of Squad 13 all grown up and starting their own families came to show that they were able to find a much more important purpose to their lives and achieve true happiness, which is what I truly believe the message behind the story of Darling in the Franxx to be. What it truly means to be human, finding one's purpose, and achieving happiness through unity. I was also very happy to see that best man Goro was together with Ichigo. There is a ton of marvelous talent behind the masterpiece that is Darling in the Franxx. First off, the writing and direction is absolutely incredible. Not only did it do a magnificent job relaying its message through very beautiful and powerful symbolism, but it kept our attention with very impactful conflicts and developments that happened with its characters, which stirred up incredible emotions and kept us coming back. I have always believed that writing in a story is only bad if you can't feel anything from it. And I believe we can all agree when I say that Darling in the Franxx is one incredibly emotional experience. I must say that one of the things I really enjoyed while watching Darling in the Franxx has to be the interview that took place with the cast after episode 15. Seeing the VAs enjoyably discuss what they thought were some of the most impactful moments from the first half was not only satisfying to watch, but extremely heartwarming. Not only did a lot of the VAs' choices line up with the fans, but it came to show just how much the VAs enjoyed working on Darling in the Franxx. And that's excellent because you know if the VAs are enjoying their roles, that they're going to do a beautiful job. And as far as the animation and music goes in the series, I could not have asked for anything better. Studio Trigger and A1 Pictures did a magnificent job bringing the action and the story to life. Not to mention, and this is a little bit different though, but the opening animation for the series, especially in the second half, was exquisitely beautiful. And the music choice Kiss of Death was also a wonderful choice and shared in the story's symbolism as well. Darling in the Franxx is a series that I would proudly own. It's a beautiful story filled with non-stop emotional developments and conflicts, drama, action, and has some of the most heartwarming romance moments I have experienced in a long time. A solid masterpiece. I highly recommend buying it once it releases. I know I am. And this is going to conclude it for me today, guys. I hope you all have enjoyed my review on Darling in the Franxx. Please leave me your comments down below on what you think of the series. The next review is going to be on High School Deity Hero, so please look forward to it. And until next time, I'm Keiva Takadiri. Catch you in the next one.